Mediation with Eritrea, another option for the Seagate outlet.
The issue of Ethiopia's sea outlet is not something that will easily be closed. Ethiopia is pursuing a strong stance that it needs a sea outlet. This stance was present during past governments. It was also the reason for major bloody conflicts during the time of the emperor and the Derg regime. During the EPRDF era, while it was not the agenda of the ruling party, it was the agenda of opposition parties. Under the government of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, this issue has gained even more governmental focus. It does not require a prophet to say that this issue will continue to be a question until it finds an answer. The question is, by what means should Ethiopia become a sea owner? Through negotiation, mediation, or by force? Ambassador Dina Mufti hinted that there is a desire to resolve the issue of sea access with Eritrea through mediation. Beyond the powerful nations, we will look at which methods can be used to gain sea access from Eritrea. Ambassador Dina Mufti, a member of the House of People's Representatives and chairperson of the Standing Committee on Foreign Relations and Peace Affairs, stated that the people and government of Ethiopia have no desire to enter into war with Eritrea. At a time when many are awaiting conflict with fear, the ambassador's speech has provided relief. Ambassador Dina stated that Ethiopia will use peaceful alternatives to gain sea access. Speaking to Gazeta Plus, a news source under the Ethiopian press agency, Ambassador Dina said that the 1982 international law concerning landlocked countries supports Ethiopia's position. He said that Ethiopia's desire is to obtain sea access through peaceful means based on the principle of give and take. Let's look at whether Ethiopia can gain sea access from Eritrea through peaceful alternatives beyond conflict. International law indicates that landlocked countries can participate in sea trade and other activities. The 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea (UNCLOS) is evidence of this. 160 countries, including Ethiopia, have signed and ratified the agreement. This law states that landlocked countries must participate equally in maritime trade. It also has articles concerning coastal states. It stipulates that the rights of landlocked countries must be respected. Article 125 of the law states that landlocked countries should have free access to ports and transport infrastructure. Article 125 also states that coastal states cannot obstruct this right. Similar things are detailed in Article 131. Ambassador Dina tried to raise this issue. Indeed, ever since Ethiopia raised the question, the international community has supported its request as legitimate. There is a difference on how the sea outlet should be obtained. Most do not support the option of force. The benefit of sea access is significant: to conduct import and export trade, to strengthen diplomatic ties, to secure safety, and to connect with the rest of the world. Sea access has become an issue of existence. From the perspective of international law, Ethiopia has the right to demand sea access. However, if it directly opts for military force, it could face strong sanctions and isolation from regional countries, especially Arab countries that do not want Ethiopia to reach the Red Sea. Egypt could also exploit this opportunity. The sea access Ethiopia is currently requesting is not just to go out to sea, but to own, develop, and conduct other activities. Scholars say that Ethiopia's location allows it to request sea access from Kenya, Somalia, Djibouti, and Eritrea. The Horn of Africa, where Ethiopia is located, is a region with security threats and a lot of international activity. There are security threats from the Red Sea, through Bab el-Mandeb to the Indian Ocean. Several powerful nations have established more than 10 large military bases here. Ethiopia says it must draw closer to the sea to know what is happening in this region and to be a participant. From a security standpoint, sea access provides a defense against piracy, robbery, and cross-border crimes. Ethiopia is the leading landlocked country in terms of population and land area. With this huge population and being a major economic source, it has no sea outlet. To feed its rapidly growing population and boost its developing economy, it needs both a sea outlet and a port. Since Ethiopia does not have its own port, it pays a huge amount of money for rent. It uses the port of Djibouti for imports and exports. The money Ethiopia pays to Djibouti is considered one of the most expensive in the world. Until 1991 EC, Ethiopia was a port owner but became landlocked due to historical circumstances. Ethiopia's sea access question has become an international agenda. Following the question, neighboring countries like Somalia have taken a position. Somalia signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with Ethiopia for joint development. This is considered an indication that Ethiopia's sea access question has gained acceptance. The African Union has also stated that the question is legitimate as long as it is peaceful. The President of France, Emmanuel Macron, a member of the UN Security Council, had promised to work on the implementation of Ethiopia's agenda. The U.S. ambassador to Ethiopia, Irvin Masinga, said the question is legal, provided it is resolved peacefully. Those closely following the matter say that Ethiopia's claim enforces international law. The fact that Ethiopia's sea access question has become an international agenda does not mean it is risk-free. There are those who fear Ethiopia's return to the Red Sea, and those who want Ethiopia to remain in trouble. Just as there are countries that believe Ethiopia should have its own port, there are also those who do not. Ethiopia is not the first country to raise the question of a port with other countries. The Democratic Republic of Congo was a landlocked country for decades. It has now succeeded in becoming a port owner through the principle of give and take. Recently, the European country Hungary also became a port owner. Hungary lost its port after World War I. Since 1920, for over 100 years, its port activities were in the hands of Italy and other neighboring countries. Hungary conducted negotiations for many years to secure its port usage rights. Finally, through discussion and negotiation with the Italian government, it was able to become a port user. In the past few months, a newspaper report shows that Morocco agreed to give a port to Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Something that comes by force will also go by force. Something gained through trust and negotiation is more viable and generational. Especially among neighboring countries, the negotiations and consultations Ethiopia conducts with coastal nations like Somalia, Eritrea, and Djibouti hold a great opportunity. There are many ways Ethiopia can achieve its goal, especially through peaceful means. Neighboring countries, particularly Somalia and Djibouti, need things from Ethiopia, including electric power and agricultural products. Scholars stress that Ethiopia's activities must follow international laws. They say Ethiopia should use international forums to explain its case and convince powerful nations. If many friendly countries are created, it will not only show Ethiopia's question in a good light, but also help to persuade coastal nations and exert comprehensive pressure. The people of Ethiopia's neighboring countries are linked by culture, history, religion, language, and other things. If these positive aspects can be converted into diplomacy and policy, sea access can be gained peacefully. The peaceful options through which Ethiopia can gain sea access are rental, where the payment is deducted from money that would otherwise be spent on domestic development. Negotiation and the principle of give and take, where Ethiopia has much to offer. Swapping dry land for a port. However, neighboring countries are often criticized for not being receptive to such opportunities, as they don't want Ethiopia to reach the Red Sea. Regardless, any movements of force outside of peaceful options are beneficial to no one. The Ethiopian government also states that it is not pursuing a policy of enforcing its will by force. Ethiopia respects the sovereignty of others, just as it does not want its own sovereignty to be violated. Following Ethiopia's sea access request, many fear that conflict may arise in the region. The economic integration of the region should be based on mutual interest, not on charity. As long as there is sincerity, willingness, and desire, there are many issues on which Ethiopia can give and receive. It is said that neighboring governments should prepare themselves to negotiate with Ethiopia on its request based on the principle of give and take. Ethiopia needs a sea outlet more than ever. Neighboring countries should understand this and sit down for talks with Ethiopia through diplomatic means based on the principle of give and take. This is not a short-term question. If left unanswered, it could continue for many years and one day lead to conflict. This is a crucial reality that the regional countries must understand. We have finished. We wish you a good time.